So I got remarks on Orthodox Lunatic's video when I said Protestantism manufactures atheism, and I got Protestants calling me an asshole or this or that, and they didn't even watch the video that I had in the link that I put in my comment, because I explained I don't hate Protestants. I feel bad for them. I even think most of the preachers are deceived. I think people like T.D. Jakes are evil. I mean, he's a Sabellianist, but beyond that, he's a thief, and so is Kenneth Copeland and Joyce Myers. But there was somebody who said that the Orthodox Church is communism, and so are the monasteries, just voluntary. Communism, if you mean, you can't say communism, because communism means a certain thing, right? It means, it's Marxism. That's what communism is. You might say a form of collective living or communal living. That's not communism. Communism explicitly believes in the destruction of the family, the destruction of all culture, the destruction of all traditions, of all eternal truths, of all differences, of all personal property, private land. I mean, it calls for, the Communist Manifesto explicitly says, the destruction of all eternal truths, all religion, all spirituality. I mean, total destruction of any and your rights. There's no human rights anymore. There's no civil rights. It's all gone. Orthodoxy, our families, being able to raise our children, and marry the people who we want to and stay married to them, and raise our children according to our traditions and passing down our traditions, and believing in the spirituality of our ancestors and practicing the rituals that we want to practice in peace that don't hurt anybody. That's a death. Any one of those things, the communists would line you up against a wall and shoot you. And it is maddening when I hear any people try to defend communism. It's the nuttiest thing. They'll read the Communist Manifesto and they'll read these awful, horrid things in it, and they will make excuses for it. Well, all eternal truth doesn't mean all eternal truth. Destruction of the family and not allowing parents to raise their children. It doesn't mean that. It was just a response to the Victorian era. But then they'll read something like the Bible and they'll take it like hyper literally, or just even out of context, they'll stretch it so crazily. But communism, I mean, and I've even heard people stand up for North Korea, and it's like, how depraved do you have to be? So, and watch, there's probably going to be some jackass on here. Well, communism works in theory. No, it doesn't. It goes against all of human nature, and nobody would ever want to live under communism. Communism is where very few people own everything and have all of the rights, all of the property, and it's worse than any other type of dictatorship. And the Sandinistas and the FMLN were not communists. They were populist fronts that had some members of the Communist Party in them, but they were not communist. Peace to you.